Hola, buenas tardes, clase. Today we're going to be talking about our two commands. We've done two commands before. It's really simple. You just put it into the he, she form. So we're going to go over that. We're going to look at our irregulars. And then I'm going to add in how to do negative commands, which will be for extra credit. So I like extra credit, so why not? Okay, so an affirmative command. So affirmative and negative commands are two different things, and they're made in two different processes. Okay, so un mandato afirmativo, so an affirmative command, is used to tell someone specifically when we're talking about our informal commands, we're referring to do something. So turn right, cross the bridge, keep going. And so we're speaking informally. And to do that, you just conjugate to the usted el ella form, and it's as simple as that. There are some irregulars, which we'll talk about in just a second. So turn right, dobla a la derecha. Cruza el puente, cross the bridge, sigue, keep going. So you're just dropping the S off of the to form. That's really all it is. You're going to use exclamation points when you're writing, or a comma after someone's name to distinguish a command from the he, she form. Like Elena cruza el puente. Elena crosses the bridge versus Elena cruza el puente. Elena cross the bridge. And so you just kind of use the tone of your voice when you're speaking to differentiate between commands and statements. And then when you're writing, you use exclamation marks and or a comma. Okay? So let's do some practice. So turn left at the fountain. So it should be dobla a la izquierda a la fuente. Do the rest of them on your own. Hit pause on here. And then hit play when you're done and see how you did. Okay, cross the highway, cruza la carretera, stop at the intersection, para en el cruce de calles. Make sure that you have in here and not a. I keep seeing a lot of you guys continuing to make this same mistake. It's always in a location. It's never a location. A is only at when it's at a time. Okay, past the statue, pasa la estatua. Turn right before the bridge, dobla a la derecha antes del puente. Make sure you have del here and not del. Okay, so this should be pretty straightforward. So our mandatos afirmativos e irregulares, so our irregular affirmative commands, there are 8 of them. Venten pon salas diceve. Okay. Come, have, puts, leave, make, say, be, go. Okay. We know all of these verbs, and I was looking in the book at the information, or like at the activities and stuff like that, and they put something that really made a lot of sense. And what it says is that the go verbs, the yo go verbs, you're just dropping the go. And I never realized that before. So like tener, the yo form is tango, and you're just dropping the go. Ven is vengo, and you drop the go. And so that really helps me remember it. And so so ven, tem, pon, sal, and decir, those are all yo go verbs. Hacer is too, it's hago, but that one does something extra special. So then hacer and say and ve are really the only ones that you have to memorize in that way, other than you just dropping the go from the yo form. I don't know if that helps. It was like light bulb to me that I never put that together. Okay, so let's talk about an affirmative command with a pronoun. Yep. Okay, I was going to see if it would be better over there. So when you're using a command with a pronoun, whether it's a DOP, an IDOP, or a reflexive, the pronoun has to be attached to the affirmative, to the end of the affirmative command. Okay, so affirmative commands attach pronouns. Okay, AA, affirmative attach. Then you have to add an accent mark to the second to last syllable of the verb. The pronoun is not going to count as a syllable. Okay, so drive it, if it is the truck, manéjalo. So lo would be the DOP for the truck, el camión. Maneja, the command form of drive, 1, 2 syllables back, accent on the E. Okay, look at it, the statue, move my little thing, mírala. Okay, so accent on the I. So if I have mira is my verb, A's last syllable, the I is the second to last syllable, mírala. Or you might hear me say like, mírenme, look at me. And that's just an ustedes command, but I still have to attach it no matter what kind, if it's a to command or an usted el ella command, or an ustedes command, it's still attached to the end. Okay, if you have multiple pronouns, not going to do this very often, be like extra credit here and there, you're going to use the order rid, reflexive, indirect, direct. Okay, so take them off if it's the shoes off of yourself. Quítelos. So quitas, to remove. A is your reflexive, so take the shoes off of yourself. Los, your shoes. So whenever I think of like giving commands with multiple pronouns, I always think of like a mom being like, I said do it now. I said take them off. So quítatelos. Or drive it for me, manéjamela, manéjamelo. Okay. So may would be your indirect object, and then the lo would be your direct object. Up here, the te is your reflexive, and the los is the direct. Okay, you're never going to use all three types of pronouns in with one verb. You're never going to do something to yourself for something else with something else. Okay. And that's just for any sentence, not necessarily with commands. Okay. If you have questions about two commands, let me know. Affirmative two commands. Now we're going to talk about the negative commands, which is a different process. And this will be for extra credit. So on your test, if you're going to have a writing section, you're going to have to give directions through a town. If you use negative commands, or like a negative command, you can use up to 2, and I will give you extra credit for those. Okay, so to make a negative command, this is called a process called the yo-o opposite. And this is how you also make formal commands and plural commands as well. Okay, so we're going to talk specifically about two commands, but it would be the same process for usted and ustedes commands. So you're going to conjugate your verb to the yo form, then you're going to drop the o, so that's where the o comes in, yo, o. And then you're going to add the opposite to ending. And so what I mean by that is if it's an AR verb, you're going to add the ER to ending, the ERIR to ending. If it's an ERIR verb, you're going to add the AR verb ending for to form. And then you're going to put no in front of it. So it looks really weird. It looks really, really weird because you're like, wait a minute, that's the wrong type of ending for this type of verb. And it kind of messes with your brain a little bit, but that's how you do it. So for example, if I wanted to say don't turn, like I'm giving you directions, like don't turn here, wait, and then turn after. So I take doblar, I go to the yo form, which is doblo, okay, drop the o, didn't put that step in there, and then I add my opposite ending, so it's an AR verb, so I'm going to add my ES, then I put no in the beginning, no dobles, don't turn. It's weird, doesn't it? Okay, so don't eat. Okay, so I have comer, go to como, I drop the O, and then I add the AR2 ending, which is as, no comas. Like, no comas mi pastelito, don't eat my cupcake. Okay, it looks really weird, but it's okay. All right, so we have a couple of irregulars. So ir becomes no vayas, don't go. Are no des, estar, no estés. This one is really good for me, like, oh, don't be nervous, no estés nervioso. Saber, no sepas. And ser, no seas. This one, I don't know why you would ever use it. Okay. Like, oh, don't know that if you, but I don't know. But it is what it is. So these are also the irregulars for the subjunctive, but that's Spanish. Okay. These you won't really use at all this year. Like you could say like no vayas, don't go until the light turns green. You could say that. Okay. But okay, sorry, let me go back real quick up here. If you want to do an usted ending or an usted command, you would just add the opposite usted ending. Or if you're giving an ustedes command, you would use the opposite ustedes ending. So this step 3 here is where you can kind of differentiate between who you're giving commands to. This is the process that you use for affirmative usted commands and negative usted commands, as well as affirmative and negative ustedes commands. Okay, so it's that yo-o opposite, and then if it's a negative command, you just put no in front of it. Sorry, I forgot to mention that earlier. Okay, so then we have no vayas, no des, no estés, no sepas, no seas. Okay, so let's do a little bit of practice with this. Okay, so don't turn left at the stoplight. No dobles a la izquierda en el semáforo. Don't go to the plaza at night. No vayas a la plaza por la noche. Okay, do the next three on your own. This here for looking, you're just going to use mirar. You're not going to conjugate it. Okay, number three. No cruces la calle sin mirar, and you would change the Z to a C here. Don't drink from the fountain on the corner. No bebas de la fuente en la esquina. Don't be nervous. No estés nervioso or nerviosa. Okay, with a pronoun, when you're using a negative pronoun or a command, if you're using a pronoun with a negative command, the command will always go before, or the pronoun will always go before the command. Okay, directly before. So don't take off your shoes. No te quites los zapatos. It goes in between the no and the verb. Okay, don't give me a ticket, please. No me pones una multa, por favor. Or no me pongas. Sorry. No me pongas una multa, por favor. And that one, it should probably no me ponga because you'd probably be speaking to a police officer formally. Okay. Don't eat it, the cake. No comas, or don't, no lo comas if it is el pastel. Okay. Like I said, these negative commands will be extra credit. I just like to sprinkle in these extra little things because I think they're fun because I'm a big old grammar nerd. If you have questions about two commands in any way, please let me know. Have a wonderful day. Nos vemos pronto. Adios.